In this video, I'm going to show you some tips on how to butt weld and metal finish with the MIG thin sheet on the Delage rear fender. The next stage is to join all the pieces together, the top three and the side. So we're going to have to weld these seams up and metal finish them, and this one as well. I'll show you how we're going to do that. Now we want to get this edge here really nice. We want to just feel no edge. They got to be perfectly even. If they're not, we're going to hammer them till they're straight. In this case, the panels fit close enough together. We don't have to worry about welding to underneath if we use the proper technique. I don't put brass behind it because they're nice close together right where I like them to be. You're going to do a tack on the new metal on one side, a quick tack on the other side, and I call it bridging. You're going to bridge the weld over top. It'll still sink into the metal, but it won't adhere to the old fender underneath. Otherwise, we won't get it off when we want to take it off. And then you're going to weld on the weld, weave on the weave, all the way down. Not on the new metal and not in the groove. On the top of the first weld, and you're going to go back and forth and weave it. On top of it, let it cool in between. On this machine, you want to set your voltage at the lowest level. In this machine, it's 1.5 on the voltage, and it's 20 on the wire feed speed. You want to use the thinnest MIG wire, 023, 025 for thin sheet. Also let it stick out about 1/4 inch, gas about 10 psi. We're also going to hold the torch here at a shallow angle. So we're not going to dig down deep into it. We're going to come in on the side. If you're right-handed, in my case I go this way, left-handed you might go the other way. So you're going to do it there across. And then you might aim it up a bit as you get a thicker weld. There are all our bridge tacks. I start from there, go down, there, go down. We iron it out. You can also take the gun and aim it downward, going on the weld, and move it downward. Weld on the weld. I do have a slight low area here where this side's a little bit less, so when I weld it, I'm going to build a wider bead here. I'm going to build a bead on a bead and just build this area up so when I metal finish it, you don't see the low area. Now with these holes, we're going to go around the outer edge and weld on the weld till we hit the middle and a little dot in the center, and it's going to be perfect. So now I've welded it. I did a very high weld because first we plugged all the holes, and then here I ended up going this way with the torch. Take my finger. I go more in a horseshoe pattern because I want to bridge over top and not melt out the center. So I go into the thicker so it's cooler in the middle instead of too hot and flowing through. Here I actually did the whole I ended up going this way. The same thing, like that. Then I went across because I said I had that low area. I want to fill it and make sure I have enough weld on the weld, basically, so that when I grind it, it's going to be perfect. This is also why I wouldn't use a TIG in this situation. I want the buildup so I can actually use the weld to blend it into the rest and keep it very strong. And I can, in this low area, I can build it up as I'm going. The TIG would be too much heat, too much rod, too much time. That section is metal finished. Now I'm going to show you the next one, which is a little wider, a little more tricky. Here's the next one, a little wider. That's not going to be easy to cross. We're going to put brass behind it. I'm going to show you how to do this one. Here's a brass piece, about a 1/16 inch. Shaped it to match the curve of the fender. We're going to put that underneath as a heat sink and also to help us keep it all level. So the bottom half here is nice and level. I've clamped it down. Gee, why do I have so many clamps? Anyways, it's all nice and level. We're going to weld down there first, then we'll clamp the other side and go that way. This looks a little lumpy, but that's fine. We weaved across all the way down, 1/4 inch at a time, then cool it, 1/4 inch, cool it. That's why it looks lumpy. Tends to build up quite high because we want to go past the cut in order to have room to feather it back. So we need a high weld, which is fine. Doesn't look pretty, but it works. Here it is, metal finished. It's really nice. Now I can take the brass out and we'll start on the sides of the fender next. Please subscribe and follow for more restoration tips.